video, I am going to show you how to write a written discussion.
A written discussion, or as the Germans would say, geschriebene Diskussion, is a type of text where you take position on a controversial matter. This can be very helpful if you find yourself in a situation that you do not like and you think that change is inevitable to improve the situation, or if there are things and circumstances that you would like to voice your opinion on, but the person who is in charge and could actually do something about it isn't that easy to reach. Here, it might be a good idea to voice your opinion in a written form. By doing so, your opinion becomes automatically more reflected because you think about the issue for a longer time. And moreover, the person who you give the discussion to has more time to reflect on your points and can maybe change his or her mind about it.
So let's jump right in and learn how to write a good written discussion. And by good, I mean a very convincing, totally awesome written discussion that illustrates your opinion perfectly and will make the world a better place.
Unfortunately, it is often a long and rocky road to a good written discussion. But roughly, the writing process can be divided into 4 steps. Step 1. Make up your mind. Step 2. Plan and structure your text. Step 3. Write it. And step 4. Check it. Let's walk through the process of writing a written discussion step by step. Step 1. Make up your mind. Making up your mind basically means form an own opinion on the topic. It might be a good idea to write down the core question so that you don't lose focus while doing some research. You should always do some research about the topic because you have to know a lot about it. You can learn about the topic by doing some research online, reading books about it, or simply talking to other people. After you finished your research, you should note down the most important things. You can either do it in a concept map or a pro and con list, or if you know a better way of writing it down, do it as you like. But make sure that you thought about the topic a lot. What things are the most important ones? Why is it controversial? Who is involved? What do they think about it? Keep those questions in mind. After you wrote everything down, highlight the most important things for you. Having done that, it's already time for step 2, structuring your text. A written discussion should always be structured like this. At first, you have an introduction, then the main part, and then the conclusion. If you structure your text, you should always start by structuring the main part, because this is where the arguments go. At first, you need one argument of the side that you disagree with. Then, you need one argument of your own side that weakens the first argument. And then, you need 2 or more arguments that support your opinion. If you are a beginner of writing a written discussion, it is helpful to write it down like this. Make a list, pro and con, then highlight the side you are going to take in the written discussion, and then you start with the argument that you disagree with. Directly to that, you note down the argument that weakens the argument from the side that you disagree with. And then you can add 2 or more of the best points that support your opinion. Don't forget, a good argument always consists of a claim, an explanation, and an example. Then you can note down what you want to say in the introduction and conclusion. In the introduction of your written discussion, you should write about why the topic is relevant and give the opinion that you support. Then you also need a transition into the main part. In the conclusion, you should mention your strongest argument once again. And then you should write about what you conclude. And also, you can maybe offer a compromise or tell the reader what you wish for in the future. It is a good idea to write that also down on the concept paper. And having finished that, you can go on with step 3. Write it. Now it's time to write the text based on the concept paper you made earlier. But a written discussion is a formal text. That means no short forms, no slang words or insults. You need to write in an informative way, and you have to write gender neutrally. The writing process can sometimes be a little tricky, because when new things come to your mind that you haven't thought of before, you might want to add them in. And then don't be afraid to restructure your text even now a little. Don't rush this step. Writing takes time. And sometimes you're lacking ideas. Then it is a good idea to take a break and go on with the writing of your text a little later. After you finished writing, it's time for step 4. Check it. It is very important to have a well-written text, because nobody is going to listen to you when given a text full of mistakes. So grab your favorite red pen and read the text a few times. Make sure that the text is logically structured, that you used strong arguments, and that you made no grammar nor spelling mistakes. Advanced learners can also check for stylistic devices and clever transitions. But a corrected text doesn't look as good and convincing anymore. So, if you have the chance, you can type it into your computer or rewrite it in a very, very tidy way. And now, finally, after you've worked through all the steps to a good written discussion, you have your final version. The only thing that there's left to do now is get your written discussion to the readers. To do that, you can either send it by mail, email, or give it directly to the reader. And then your written discussion is ready to change the world. So, it's not that hard to do after all, or are there any questions?